as one of the 3 international experts. And I should make you aware that I myself come from the field of education and care, early childhood education and care. So what I tried to do when I was part of the commission was to present the Norwegian experiences. And obviously, when you bring together experts from such a large and diverse field, all centering around the first 1,000 days of the child and starting with pregnancy, then the interest to see policies that are interlinked, it made me also go search for policies in other ministries than the one I'm from myself, which is the Ministry of Education and Research. So what I will present to you is just some thinking and some ideas that we had to sort of deal with in the discussion in the Commission, and where I think that some of the discussions we were having in Norway could be relevant. So I will talk a bit about the pregnancy and maternity care, the health checks and services for children, and then obviously the early childhood education and care, which is my field. There we are. So what I was sort of thinking about when we heard all the presentations was that obviously we need to see the policies that are developed in different ministries in order to cater for the very youngest children, and to see that when we are looking at the pregnancy and the birth and the postnatal and the childcare, they need to be linked together and seamlessly so, focusing on the best interest of the child. And that means something about how the national policies need to be developed. And the national policies need to be linked to the funding issues, obviously. And it also needs to be linked to how it is delivered on the local level. And this is where we had some beautiful examples coming from the UK with the group that came to the Commission, showing us that there are some local initiatives developed in municipalities that can really inspire that kind of red thread and focus on the child and the families from the very start. As you heard from Natalie, a big issue was linked to the paternal leave. So I will touch on the paternal leave because Norway was one of the first to introduce the paternal quota in our parental leave. So if we are in the, you are a bit sort of quick. So this is, I'm not sure, do you think, Nick, that you want to maternity care? So there are appointments made, so we already have regulated how this maternity care and pregnancy is to be dealt with. And one of the things that has been developed now is that there will be not only the mothers coming to the consultations, but the fathers will more and more also join the consultation together with the mother. We have now a right to a midwife at a maternity and child health care center for the pregnant woman. We also saw during the work of the Commission that we needed to pay attention to the breastfeeding. So the next slide, if you and in Norway, we've had some very, very important experts promoting the breastfeeding and how you want to support the mothers in doing so. And linking these discussions that we are having on the parental leave and the maternity leave to this possibility to breastfeed has been very, very important. And I think that it was also part of the discussions we were having in the Commission, because we had the midwives and obviously also the pediatricians as part of the Commission. So making sure that not only that the way that you meet the family and in becoming, but that you really are sensitive to their needs and also try to sort of support the type of practices that we know are good for the child and for the attachment between the child and the mother and the father. So if you move to the next one. So we have the prenatal care, we have the hospitals that need to come into it, and the experts need to be sensitive. But we also have the municipal child and health service and the school nurses that also is a big part of trying to nurture the child and make sure that the first 1,000 days are good. So the municipal child health service is a vital part of the fabric that is on the local ground. And they are not only looking after the physical health of the child, but also the mental health. So being supportive of the family, of the mother and the child is very important. There are 14 consultations with specialist nurse already from birth to 5 years of age. In addition, of course, as you probably are a kind of a good example, there will be a home visit and even 2 now in some places in order to put that into place. I just wanted to show you, because this is the type of consultations that are being drafted. These 14 consultations, they are partly group consultations, partly individual. And I think that is very important, that these type of group consultations, they build a network around the child and the family. And they are very important part of following up the child and the family. Next one, please. So there are some examples, and I guess they are inspired by some of your practices in the UK. So we have one, for instance, in the biggest city in Oslo, called New Families, and they are looking after the barnehjernevernet. It means the brain, the care for the children's brain, it means actually. And this type of relationship that you can nurture from the start is so important, as we know from research, to have this support of the family, supporting the child well-being and development. It starts during the pregnancy, it's in week 28, and it goes on until the child is 2 years of age. This is a municipal example. We do not have the same type of sort of explicit program on a national level yet, but we do have the national policies that will support this type of practice. Part of the New Families policies is to build the relationship and trust. It means that they will have a dedicated nurse that they will actually follow the child, not only from before pregnancy, from pregnancy onwards, but after birth, but also when they try to transition into childcare. So there will also be a connection there. And next, please. So I was talking about the structures that need to sort of be surrounding the family in order to make it possible to have the good supportive relationship between the child and the parents. And of course, the paid parental leave is a big important feature of our policies for the youngest children. We have a paid parental leave which is around 1 year, with a paternal quota that has been expanding during since the 1993. And in the discussion, the Commission, extending the paternal quota was a very big issue, not only to sort of, because we know it's so important for the child, but also to support the mother so that they will form this type of relationship that will nurture and be supportive of the child from the very beginning. So the next one, please. I just picked some words from our motivation for parental and paternal leave, and it has developed over time. And one of the things that when the Commission's suggestion only resulted in 18 more days of paid paternal leave, the increase in the paternal quota, a lot of people were a bit disappointed, but I tried to show the Commission that actually it's been the way in Norway as well, that the expansion of the number of weeks coming from 4 weeks, which was the first step in 1993, until now we have 15 or 19 weeks that is reserved for the father. It has really been a step-by-step movement, and you really need to sort of look far ahead in order to get to that point. But now I think that the composition that we have, with 1/3 for the mother reserved for the mother, 1/3 reserved for the father, and 1/3 that they can share between them, is really moving the way that the fathers are interacting with the children and are influencing the relationship that they have within the family and with the child. So that we have research showing this. We have kindergartens in Norway that are universal. So we have a Nordic model that combines education and care. It's play-based and child-centered, and we have a very, very high uptake. So you can see that from the 1 to 2-year-olds, 83.5% now participate in early childhood education and care, and from the 3 to 5-year-olds, it's 97.1%, which means that it's truly universal. And the reason why it's universal is perhaps, and not only perhaps, but it's also because that the cost has been regulated. So we have regulation on quality, and we have regulations also on parental fees. So please, the next one. We have also strategies that we need to put in place in order to try to overcome the division between the different sectors. And I think that one of them, which was about growing up safely, and is about the parents and the parents' role, I think that was a very, very important step in order to try to look across the different sectors and putting the child and families at the center. So the final slide is the next one, please, is the one that I put forward to the Commission, and I really think that merits discussions in many places. The relationship and the consequences of national policies on local solutions. You all know that without the local solutions, there will be no support for the family, but there is a case perhaps to have national policies that can enable that kind of creativity and solutions found on the ground. And we think also of how the national policies and guidance could influence practices. In the Commission's report, what you could see is this chapter that you got sent over from Nick about the research and about the support of the professionals in the field. I think that is part of the outcome of the work in the Commission. Well, I think that I would stop there because we'd rather have a discussion than me continuing. So thank you so much for your attention.
Tove, thank you so much. That was really good. I'm just going to end the show now.